All right, let's get right into it. We're going to pull back the curtain on this really fascinating subculture, a world that's built on secrets, on skill, and on the quiet satisfaction of being completely and totally underestimated. We are talking about the psychology of the sleeper car builder. I want you to picture this. You're sitting at a stoplight, right? And next to you, there's this beat up, totally forgettable family car. Nothing special. But you know something nobody else does. You know that under that boring hood, there's an absolute monster just waiting to be unleashed. See, this isn't just about cars. It's about a very, very specific kind of power. So how does a journey like this even begin? Well, it almost never starts with some flashy showpiece. No, it starts with something small, something overlooked, something that has a secret that only you can see. Maybe it was a car a lot like this one. You're what, 17? You saved up every single dollar from some dead-end job for this, an $800 rusted-out Civic. Your friends? They laugh. Your family kind of shakes their head. But you're not even listening, because you've spent hundreds of hours online researching. You know that under that ugly shell, this car has bones. So, months of work later, and the car still looks like junk on the outside, but underneath, it's a whole different beast. And then you get that moment of truth. A brand new BMW pulls up next to you. The driver gives you that look, you know the one, that look of total dismissal. The light turns green, and you are just gone. You leave him sitting there in your dust. And in that one moment, it all clicks. The thrill isn't just about the speed, it's the secret. He has no idea what just happened. But what happens next? That's the really crucial part. This feeling, this obsession, it's about way more than just tinkering around in a garage. It's actually a really deep-seated psychological drive. You know, psychologists actually have a term for this. It's called reverse status signaling. Think about it. Most people who buy a fast car do it to show off, to broadcast their status. But the sleeper builder, they get satisfaction from the exact opposite. The power is in the secret itself, in having this incredible capability that doesn't need anyone else's approval to be real. It's all about internal validation, not external. And eventually, that car becomes this physical manifestation of your own hidden worth. In a world that maybe wrote you off, that labeled you as average, this machine, this is your proof. It's tangible evidence that there is way more going on beneath the surface. It's how you prove your competence, not just to other people, but more importantly, to yourself. And this is the point where the hobby completely transforms into a core part of your identity. You start seeing everything in layers, what's on the surface versus what's really lying underneath. In that garage, you're not just a mechanic. You're an engineer, a creator, an expert. The car becomes an extension of you. There's even a psychological term for it, identity fusion. It's where an insult to the car feels deeply personal, because in a very real way, that car is you. But, you know, an identity like this can't really exist in a vacuum forever. The next logical step is finding the others, the people who speak your secret language. You go from working in isolation to being part of a community. Just imagine walking into that first meetup. It's the secret gathering, and you see a minivan that could absolutely destroy a sports car, a beat-up old Volvo with the heart of a Porsche. This is the shared belief system. No flash, no noise, just pure hidden performance. You found your tribe. And that mastery, that skill you've been honing, it eventually translates into a very unique kind of power. People start hearing about what you can do. You start taking on builds for other people, and pretty soon you're making real money, all on your own terms. This isn't just a salary, it's freedom, it's autonomy that you've earned through a craft that exists completely outside the normal 9-to-5 world. But with that kind of power comes a totally different kind of risk. And the lines you once respected, you know, the line between a hobby and an obsession, between what's legal and what isn't, they start to get fuzzy. That pull towards the dark side, well, it gets a lot stronger. In this world, there are these unspoken rules, but the most important one, the one that keeps you grounded, is that third one. Never let the build become the only thing. And slowly, maybe without even realizing it, you break that rule. The garage starts to feel more like a home than your actual house does. And the consequences? They are very real. Your relationships start to fall apart. Your girlfriend leaves, not after a big fight, but with this quiet, devastating observation that just hits you right in the chest. She tells you she's not competing with another person. She's competing with a machine. with an obsession, and she knows she's losing. The obsession just pulls you deeper into the underground to a guy named Priest who runs these illegal events. And your biggest test comes at this remote airstrip. You've built a monster, an 800 horsepower Subaru Outback, and it lines up against a Lamborghini, the ultimate symbol of obvious power. This is it, the ultimate sleeper versus the ultimate supercar. The lights drop, and that Outback doesn't just win, it vanishes. The crowd just goes insane. And Priest, the undisputed king of this underground world, he gives you the ultimate validation. And in that moment, every single sacrifice feels like it was worth it. This is the absolute peak. 3 weeks later, your world completely shatters. One of Priest's other drivers crashes on a public road on his way home from a race. He survives, but an innocent family in a minivan, they don't. The news hits you, and that feeling of being invincible is just gone, replaced by this cold, permanent fear. After that, everything changes. The high is gone, it's been replaced by the crushing weight of real-world consequences. This is that moment of reckoning, when you're finally forced to look at what you've truly been building this whole time. The unraveling is just swift and brutal. Priest? He's gone. That community that felt like a family, it just evaporates into silence. You start erasing every trace of your work, dismantling everything, living in the state of constant paranoia. The walls you built in the garage have now become the walls you built around your entire life. And there, in the quiet of your garage, you look at your latest project, and you finally realize it. The motivation has completely shifted. That first build, that old Civic, that was all about proving your mastery. But this new car, a perfect and powerful sleeper, it's not about mastery anymore. Now, it's about hiding. This machine, it's the culmination of every skill you've ever learned. It's technically perfect, but its purpose isn't to win a race or to prove a point. No, its purpose is to be invisible, to vanish without a single trace. A perfect machine built for a life spent in the shadows. And this is the core truth of the entire journey. It was never just about the car, was it? The car was always a mirror, a self-portrait made of steel and oil. At first, it reflected this deep desire for respect. But now it reflects a desperate need to disappear. You weren't just building cars, you were building a version of yourself, one bolt at a time. So, it all comes down to this final choice. A choice that every builder, in some way, has to face. The skill is there. The power is real. The perfect machine is sitting right there, ready to go. But what is it for? Do you stay hidden in the safety of the disguise you've perfected, or do you finally step out and show the world who you really are? The choice is yours.